What's up YouTube? This is JP Panther back on the video, and today's video is another anime discussion video. And I really want to talk about this because it's been on my mind for about 4 or 5 years, and I kind of want to talk about discussion. So this discussion is about who are the worst anime villains ever. And again, there's filler, there's canon and stuff like that. Again, I'm gonna talk about 3 canon worst anime villains we have seen so far, and I'm gonna get into it, right? Let's start off with Zeref, right? For Fairy Tail, if you guys don't know, it's Zeref, the Black Wizard from Fairy Tail. We're going to start into him. I think he was very disappointing because the way they pumped him up in Fairy Tail, because he's supposed to be the most powerful, most dangerous villain in Fairy Tail for about I want to say 2010 or 2009 or 11, like around the anime and manga time. And the problem is they built him up since the Teramo arc, and it's kind of like, he was build up, and then when you keep watching him like in this arc, it's like, slowly. Grand Magic Games, they mention him. I'm trying to think. The 9 demon gates, they're like, the whole purpose we were created was to kill Zeref, and it caused chaos and destruction and havoc. And I felt like, he was very, whatever. You had the 9 demon gates that he created, and then you found out that they were just whatever. You know what I mean? They were very forgettable at the end. They're almost like filler characters. And then you got the Spring 12, right? They're the most powerful wizards in all of the land, and it's under by Zeref, and you're thinking like, okay, Zeref's going to do something crazy and badass and cool, and then you find out that, okay, that you took God Serena, he was the #1 strongest wizard in Fiora, the Fairy Tail country, and you take him and add him as your Spring 12, and it's like, okay, and then you start finding out, like, okay, he's really powerful, and then you find out that he's emotional, he's this, he's that, he wants to die, and he doesn't want to die, and the way they build him up, and the Spring 12, they were disappointing because you've been hyping them up, and then in the first battle, they get trolled, knocked out. Zeref gets killed. Not Zeref. God Serena gets killed. Then you got the Ice Dude who was pretty much trolled. Like everybody pretty much in the Spring 12 lost in the most disrespectful way ever. Irene, she just grabs a sword and stabs herself, and it's just like August, you find out that he's Zeref's son and Mavis and blah blah blah, and they don't really explain it. I felt like the Spring 12 were really bad in my personal opinion, but I feel like Zeref was the worst one because you pumped him up for 10 years. Manga, anime wise, you pumped him up for 10 years, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna get this fairy heart, and I'm gonna use the fairy heart to destroy the world. And we're not even destroy the world, he was gonna use the fairy heart to time travel, blow up the universe, and then create a whole new universe in time where he's in, and then Natu beats him with the powers of feelings and friendship with a fairy tale, magic, friendship, feeling punch. And that was it. And I'm like, that was a waste. And he was emotional, and then Zeref was like, oh, Mavis, I love you, and I had no one to love, I was emotional, and then he hugs her, dies, and then they go to heaven or whatever it is. So Zeref was very disappointing as an anime villain. Then number 2 is Acnologia. Acnologia, he's definitely one of the worst ones too, because the way they pumped up Acnologia, same thing with Zeref. It was like he's the king of dragons. And yeah, we don't even have a real backstory unless you watch 5-6 minutes of the anime where they add a little bit of filler arc, to give some character development of Acnologia. It was better than the manga, but you didn't really know anything about Acnologia. All you know is that he's a dragon, but you find out he's a human, and he just wants to kill everybody because the dragons came and killed the people and girl and all this other stuff. And then in the anime, he starts killing the dragons, starts bathing in their blood, and then he's trying to become the thing that he hates, but he wants to save people, but he's killing people. So it's like, okay, you're pretty much an evil bastard at the end of the day. And then when he pumped him up, in the anime and in the manga, he's just, killing people, doing this and that, causing destruction, this and that. He's the most powerful dragon. And then he loses the first time. I'm trying to think. Yeah, yeah, he loses the first. I'm trying to remember, my memory's a little fuzzy. Yeah, he technically loses the first time, then he gets sealed in a different parallel world or whatever it is. Then he comes back and eats the time itself and all the stupid crap, right? And then you have his conscious fighting Natsu and all the Dragon Slayers, and then you have Acnologia's dragon body in the real world killing everybody, and then Lucy and all of them are pretty much doing like a spirit bomb and using all the powers from everyone around the country to infuse and make Fairy Spiel powerful. I mean, this was pretty much Dragon Ball Z in a nutshell. And then you have, I'm trying to remember exactly. It was Acnologia and the seven Dragon Slayers fighting, and it's the same thing with Raymaster as well, where Haru and Lucas fight in a different time world, and Acnologia and the seven Dragon Slayers are fighting, and then of course Natsu gains the powers from his friends and from the six Dragon Slayers, increases his magic, punches Acnologia, and then that's it, and then he disappears. He's like, oh, I want destruction, I want to kill everybody. It's like, I deserve to be the king, and then Natsu's like, you can't become king because I got my friends, and then Acnologia is like, oh, well, I am not king, you deserve to be king, and he's like, I don't need to be king, I got my friends, and I'm like, that's it. And then Acnologia's body disappeared with the fairy spear, the fake spear bomb, whatever it is. So I felt like Acnologia was very disappointing. And I think they're one of the worst anime villains, I think. Well, those two are really bad too. But it's fairy tale, so we expect it to be bad. I think one of the worst anime villains ever is Obito. Because if you watch Naruto, Obito, they have pumped him up as this crazy badass. And then we find out that he's Toby. Then he's Obito. No, well, he's Madara. He's fake Madara. He's killing people. He's doing this and that. And then you find out, like, oh my god, he's really badass. He's Madara. Because everyone thought he was Madara because he had the Sharingan and things like that. And then you find out that he's not really Madara. And then the real Madara comes in there with the Edo Tensei. We're like, okay, so who is this guy with the mask? And I'm like, please don't let it be Obito. And then we find out that it's Obito. And then Naruto destroys his mask. And the reason why he's one of the worst anime villains ever is because he wanted to destroy the world, start a fourth great ninja war, kill all these people, create the Akatsuki, pretty much create a terrorist ninja organization, and grab the tail beast, destroy the world, kill all these innocent people because he didn't get some coochie from an 11-year-old girl when he was like 13, and she died and Kakashi killed her. So he goes to the dark side and says, I gotta blow up the world and kill everybody. And then when you watch the fourth great ninja war, read the manga with Naruto, all Obito does for the whole entire... Again, I read the manga, so it pissed me off when the first 50 chapters came in. For like 2013 to 2014, it was all about Ren. I mean, if you guys read the manga, you know exactly what I went through. Ren. Oh my god, Ren. I love Ren. I'm like, every freaking day it was Ren. I'm like, you really did all this BS. And of course, he grabs like the seven tailed beasts and becomes a mock Sage of Six Paths, and then of course Sasuke and Naruto beats him, and then they beat him, and he grabbed the other ninjas' powers as well, and then Obito and Naruto are having this confrontational talk, pulling him out, taking the tail beast out, and he becomes a hollow shell, and then even at the end of the chapter when he's just like, Ren, he's calling his hand Ren. I mean, because Ren gives him pleasure, and that's really it. And I'm like, you're telling me as a badass anime villain, your whole entire goal was to destroy the world and kill all these people because you didn't get any from this 11-year-old girl. And that's why Obito is a terrible, terrible villain. And I think Obito's I think Obito's worse than Zeref and Acnologia. Because at least Fairy Tail, it's trash. It's garbage. Hiro Mashima created, because what Hiro Mashima, his mindset, right? He's getting paid millions of dollars to write a bullshit comic and all this other stuff, so you kind of know what you're expecting. But with Naruto, it's like Kishimoto, you have a great anime and manga when it came to Naruto. But when it comes to like Fairy Tail, we expect it to be garbage. Naruto, it's like, come on, bro. This is supposed to be the last arc of your series, and you're treating Obito like he's just whatever. You know what I mean? You're treating your villains where it's like, okay, well, That's another issue I have with Naruto as well. You know, trying to get, you know, since we're on the topic, is that they do this thing where it's like, you have these bad, you know, villains in Naruto, and they try to show you a way where it's like later on in the series we're like, okay, these guys weren't so. They try to he tries to redeem the villains and be like, okay, they weren't so bad, and that's what they did with Obito, and that's one of the things I really hated what Kishimoto did with Obito, because I felt like Obito is the worst anime villain ever, and these are my reasons why. That's really it, guys. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section below. Rate and like the video and subscribe. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. Peace and have a great day and take care.